Alrighty, guys. So we are doing Monster High Monster Rescue Operation Find Cleo, and we are on part 9. And I'm sorry I haven't been reading so much. It's been a lot going on. So here we go. We are on 107, and it's Mission Find Cleo. Chapter 9. The monster Matpolaju brought the ghouls back to the exact same location in the desert where they've been before. Draculaura noticed right away that the sun had shifted a lot. They'd been gone for a couple hours, but it made a huge difference in the heat index. Even better, the cobra tracks were still clearly visible in the sand. "What's that?" asked Frankie, pointing at some odd-looking indentations in the sand near. "Looks like some kind of tracks." "There's only one track I'm interested in," Draculaura said, pointing to the curving lines that stretched through the sand. "The one that leads to Frankie's hand. Claudine, you want to clue us in your plan and ruin the surprise?" Claudine joked. "Don't worry, ghouls. I got this. Prepare to be amazed." Draculaura was so excited as the ghouls trapezed across the duns. See this? This is exactly why we needed Monster High," she explained. "I mean, in just 1 hour we learned so much. Imagine what it's going to be like when all the teachers and students arrive." "It's going to totally blossom. That's what it's going to be," Claudine replied. "And best of all, we won't have to hide anymore," Draculaura said. "Monsters coming out of the shadows, monsters coming out of all lonely and forgotten hidden places in the world. I mean, when we put all our skills and talents, smarts together, we're going to be unstoppable." "But that was one of the problems, wasn't it?" Frankie pointed out. "What do you mean?" Draculaura asked her. "That's why humans came after us, because they were scared of us," Frankie explained. "And you know what that leads to." "The great monster fright flight," Claudine said in the solemn voice. "Exactly," Frankie said. "But it doesn't have to be like that," Draculaura insisted. "I mean, sure, maybe Dad's right, and monsters need to lay low for a while, just until humans get used to the idea of us, but doesn't mean we all have to be apart, afraid, alone." "It's true. Monster High is going to change everything," Claudine said, "and I, for one, can't wait. Like when you see what I learned in music classroom." Hold on, guys. Okay. "Yeah, well, now's your chance," Frankie said, "because I think we've found what we were looking for." With her remaining hand, Frankie pointed to the hollow of one of the duns, where the king cobra had made a sandy nest filled with snake eggs, and all of them guarded by Frankie's lost hand. "Frankie, it's your hand!" Draculaura cried. "And don't see that slimy snake anywhere. Come on, let's run up and grab it. We'll go back to the pyramid, get our ghoul Cleo, and be home in time for dinner. I don't know about your ghouls, but I'm really hungry. We should have fueled up when..." Without warning, the cobra suddenly popped out of the small hole in the sand. It leaned over the ghouls, mancing them as they spread it out in hoods. All the ghouls screamed. "I take it back," Draculaura squealed. "You're not slimy at all. In fact, I think you're remarkable. Clean, considering. No, there's no water here." The snake, though, only got angrier. Step aside, ghouls, Claudine announced. I got this. She reached into the sewer pouch, pulled out a set of small hollow tubes, then gleamed under the desert sun. That remained Draculaura the wind chimes until Claudine started screwing them together. Distract my Slytherin friends for a moment, would you? Claudine asked. How? Asked Frankie. I don't know, sing a song or something, Claudine replied. Draculaura made a face. Surrendering a snake did not sound like a solution right now. Frankie Bolts started blinking. I have a voltage idea, she said as she held up the silver stick she'd made a lab. Hello, desert breath, she called. Go fetch. Then Frankie threw a stick with all her might, and tumbling through the air, glittering in the sunshine, until it landed in the sand, standing straight up. The cobra, however, was extremely unimpressed. He raised himself higher, casting a looming shadow over the three ghouls. Claudine? Draculaura whispered. We have a situation here. Almost ready, Claudine said. Her forehead frowned in concentration. Yes, got it. Claudine held up her hand in triumph. She was holding some sort of instrument. Draculaura had never seen anything like it before. It was like a cross before a flute and a harmonica and set a wind chimes. Claudine's secret weapon was not at all what Draculaura was expecting. The king cobra began weaving back and forth frantically, guarding in lair the Frankie's hand. Ghouls, I think he's gonna get ready and strike, Frankie whispered urgently. You're sure this is going to work? Draculaura asked Claudine. Here's hoping, Claudine replied. She brought the instrument to her mouth and began to play a boomful melody. Each note echoed seamlessly, merging into the next one until the air seemed a quiver with music. Shimmering notes materialized in the air surrounding the cobra. Draculaura grabbed Frankie's arm and watched in amazement as Snake Eyes' lids began to drop, and then the head began to drop. Are you seeing this? Frankie asked in a low voice. It's getting sleepy. Very sleepy, added Draculaura. Claudine, still playing, managed to give the ghouls a thumbs up. The snake sighed a heavenly, drowsy sound and curled itself into a tight hole, nuzzling its head in the scaly skin. The ghouls held their breath as the last note of Claudine's song hung in the air, then faded into nothingness. Okay, Frankie whispered. I'm going to go get my hand. Wait, Draculaura said. Let me go. But, Frankie began. Draculaura didn't let her finish. Come on, that's what ghoul friends are for, she said. Besides, if any of our other stitches get loose. I see your point, Frankie admitted. Thanks, Drac. Just be careful. Draculaura gave Frankie's arms a quick squeeze, then creeped forward silently as she could. The only sound was almost imperceptibly crunch, crunch, crunch of dry sand under her hot pink laced-up shoes. Draculaura was just inches from the cobra's nest. All she had to do was reach for the sleeping snake and pluck Frankie's hand from the pile of shining eggs. Almost got it, Draculaura thought. Her face contracted with effort as she reached. Hiss! Without a warning, the snake awoke in an even worse mood. It rised up into full height and hovered over Draculaura. She could see a drop of venom glazing on the tip of his fangs. Draculaura tried to get away, but the sand slipped beneath her feet. She wobbled and fell. Claudine! Frankie shrieked. Play your song again! Too late for that, Claudine growled. In all instants she went full on werewolf, using her super speed and super strength to leap protectively in front of Draculaura. Then Claudine threw back her head and roared so loudly that the ground shook. The cobra took one look at the terrifying werewolf towering over it and shrank back down. Then it slithered away as fast as the scales could go. The three ghouls jumped into the air, shrieking and cheering as Draculaura rescued Frankie's hand from the nest of snake eggs. "Claudine, I didn't know you could do that," Draculaura explained. "That was fantastic." Claudine shrugged as if it were too big of a deal, but her proud smile gave away how pleased she was. "It's nothing, just a thing I used to do when my brothers got out of hand," she said. "Works every time." "Quick, give me my hand," Frankie said, "because I want to high-five both you ghouls." And that is the end of part 9. I will see you guys later in part 10.